Mark Gunaberti. Welcome to your coronavirus and market commentary update, April 5th. I'm the host of Money Matters on 65 radio stations, financial advisor, and financial columns for half a dozen newspapers. Okay, so let's get to the updates today. It's in the afternoon. I'm at home, stay at home, not in a tie and a suit. So we're just going to talk about what we're doing. Our state here in California is in stay-at-home orders. There are states in the country that are not at stay-at-home orders. There is some talk on why Washington is not initiating that nationwide. That remains to be, of course, a subject of conversations. 1.2 million people have contracted the coronavirus that we know of. How many people haven't been tested? I think it's personally 1 in 10. I think probably over 10 million people have it. But it remains to be seen. Deaths, about 70,000 people. Base it on the current numbers. It's running about a 6% mortality rate. If you take in consideration my particular number, which I think is around 10 million people have it, then we're probably about a 0.5% mortality rate. There is some good news and some not so good news in all of this. We've got 208 countries that have been affected, and we are seeing some peaks of new infections. In other words, the new infection rate is not climbing in certain areas. Italy, not climbing as much. New York has seen a little bit of decrease. Illinois has seen a little bit of decrease. China, a real big decrease. China actually handled it pretty well, considering. So there is some good news in all this. We're going to talk about the markets in just a minute. Let me just give you some what's coming up in the virus as far as worldwide today. We update these statistics daily. Canada coronavirus deaths jumped 20%, 258 in one day. The U.S. Navy captain on the aircraft carrier that sent the letter out under unsecured channels, that was picked up and published in a newspaper. He was fired. He has also now tested positive for coronavirus. No word on his condition. Interestingly, Ireland Prime Minister Leo Varadkar, who was a doctor prior to going into politics, has gone back to help out 1 day a week as a doctor. There you go. Turkey's coronavirus death toll rises by 73 to a total of 574. U.S. banking. These stimulus programs from the feds, the Payroll Protection Plan, the PPP, there's also a couple of other plans, going to consumers, small business owners. That was supposed to be rolled out, the PPP, Payroll Protection Plan, where you can get a loan if you don't fire anybody or rehire anybody. You may not have to pay that back. That's been slow in rolling out. Same thing for a lot of other programs, the personal protection equipment, the PPE equipment, the other stimulus programs, slow to roll out because the United States government, big problem, slow to get all the rules out, all the paperwork out. It's a monumental task. So in some points you have to give it to Washington for handling all this. Some of the other things, such as the mess that is with the PPE equipment, is not so favorable for sure. Italy reports 525 new deaths, but that's the slowest rise in 2 weeks. So there's that peak and the fall off of the peak we were talking about. The cruise ship lines. If you're a cruise ship line, you're obviously in trouble, financial trouble. All the ships pretty much stopped everywhere, quarantined. If you had your ships registered in Liberia or somewhere else to avoid U.S. taxes, guess what? U.S. government's not going to give you any money. So kudos for that happening right there. The demand for alcohol has gone way up. Go figure, right? We're all at home. Jigsaw puzzles has gone way up. The stay-at-home economy, streaming, movies, you name it, that's gone way up. Obviously, we're going to see a lot of hits to retail and movie theaters and things of that sort. But we'll get to the markets in just a second. A lot of governors are coming together and are obviously hammering on Washington for the terrible situation in the personal protection equipment, the PPE. That's what you're hearing about. They're having trouble getting enough. We know that. The masks, there's been a tremendous groundswell of people wearing masks, and now the U.S. has advised that everybody wear some sort of a face cloth when they're going outside to try to contain this thing. Federal Reserve President James Bullard comes out with a little Fed speak, says the U.S. economy is not in free fall. What else did you expect him to say? That it were terrible and panic everybody? No. For New York City, 7 o'clock every night, they go out on the balcony, they ring bells, and they yell and they cheer on the medical profession. This is a kind of amazing come together. And if one thing this virus shows you, we're all connected on this planet. And we have a worldwide shutdown. We're all connected. We're all at risk. Maybe this is the universe's way. Maybe this is God's way, if that's what you believe in, of saying stop, slow down, listen, be grateful, appreciate for what you had, instead of running to and fro and fighting with each other. Maybe that's what we're all doing, is stopping and thinking, for sure. New York does have their lighter moments. They basically dressed their mannequins in their fashion industry in face masks. So there you go. Bill Gates, CEO of Microsoft, has come out and said he does not expect as many worldwide deaths as is being predicted. Actually, his number is lower than Washington's number. I can personally say that I think Microsoft may be a company that will benefit from this stay-at-home economy, of course. And finally, Illinois is saying it's nearing its coronavirus peak, not as many new cases. And there's some questions on why Trump hasn't issued a national stay-at-home order. And we're seeing bidding wars for medical equipment among states. That's probably not real good at all. And so on and so forth. So on the markets, the Dow reached in February a new high, 29,500. Just 3 weeks later, it reached a new low for the year, 18,300, down 39%. The difference was. It's floating around 21,000, so it's recovered from 18,300 to 21,000. So now the Dow's only down what? 30%, 25% from its high. What's going up? Well, not movie theaters, not theme parks, not airlines, not cruise lines. Stay-at-home economy, like I mentioned, where were the crowds? Costco, Kroger supermarkets, alcohol sales. Haven't seen those stocks, whether they've done it, but I understand sales are way up. Streaming, cloud-based, at-home video conferencing. Some of the early buyers are going into those particular securities. Gold, the flight to safety. People buy gold when they're scared. Did run kind of flat. It's hard to get physical gold, so we may see that. Oil's been hammered. The argument between Russia and Saudi Arabia escalated. Trump mentioned something about it late last week, which kind of boosted prices. The news aftermarket today, what I've seen is that there is now going to be more oil being produced. They're all in a tizzy, and so oil prices may fall again, and that may drag the market down. So my recommendation is always the same. Only for the brave. If you want to nibble, okay. Otherwise, committing new money, novice investors, be very careful here. Consult a qualified financial advisor. In my opinion, the financial advisory organizations did not tell anyone to sell, and that in my mind was criminal. You should have a stop loss initiated at all points in your portfolio so you avoid the very rare circumstances when we get a complete wipeout. The website, no cost, is moneymanagementradio.com. The YouTube channel, this one under Mark Cunaberti, no cost. Get your virus updates and your corona updates, market updates, all in one spot. We'll see what the market will bring this week, and be safe, stay safe, practice good hygiene, and don't worry, America will come back. It always comes back. This will end. This too will pass. God bless.